Hey VGA crew, Mike and Mari here with the question of the week. Question of the week, of course, was how are you keeping up with the rising cost of gaming? For me, the answer might surprise you. It's I'm actually utilizing services like Game Pass a lot. Honestly, the pricing of gaming going this way is nothing new. It's been like this for 30 years or more. I remember the outcry when games were going from $50 to $60 after remaining flat for almost 15 years, from the 80s into the 90s. And then when we got into the early 2000s and 360 era, people cried foul that it was going up $10. And then, we had the same thing recently when this started becoming the norm for $70, $80. If you look at inflation, I know people hate this argument, but if you look at inflation, it's in line. It's actually cheaper than if we were paying like the money back then. But honestly, for me, the value proposition of something like a Game Pass, right, is that I actually have been playing way more games a year than I ever have in my lifetime because I have access to it through Game Pass for a flat fee each month. It's even cheaper than when I used to go down to, say, Blockbuster as a kid and go and rent, and I thought that was a good deal, right? You do like $5 a game or something like that. I get way more value proposition out of this than I even did of that. A good example right now, I'm playing like 3 or 4 different games right now. One of them, though, that I probably wouldn't have even touched, despite liking Survivor games, is Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. I have no interest in Deep Rock Galactic. I tried playing it years ago through Game Pass, funny enough. Wasn't my type of game. But because people were saying it was pretty good, I figured I'd give the Survivor one a chance, and it's become like my addiction the last, couple of weeks. And that's a game I would have just completely passed by. I wouldn't have spent $20-$30 on it. I would have just let it lie and wouldn't have had that experience, right? Even better, one of the things that I do is I always look for ways to work within a system. I have one of those Xbox credit cards that, yes, has a terrible 25% or 29% APR on it. The trick, though, is like with any credit card, you don't let debt accrue. If you're going to use it, you just pay it off, right? So what I did was I took that credit card, which gets me points, and those points can go directly into Microsoft and can pay off stuff. What I do is instead of paying directly through my bank account for things like my heating oil bill, which is a big, expense that I have to pay each month, my groceries, which I have to pay each month, things that I have to buy, right? Instead of just buying them through my regular bank account, which is what most people would do or what I would do, I put it on the card, and literally as I'm buying, like at the grocery store, I'll put it on the Xbox card, go into the app, pay it off right there. Like, if it was $200 for my groceries for a month, I'll go in and I'll pay off the $200 right there so that it's not accruing any debt. And now I have points. I get way more than $360 worth of points per year through that credit card. So I got to be honest, have not actually paid for Game Pass in like 2 years since I've had this credit card. And that will continue. Like, the way I'm going to be able to do this is keep using it that way. I'm not accruing any extra debt, and I'm using it the way I would normally spend my money anyway. And it's turning out well for me. So yeah, I've been very happy to use the Game Pass services. The amount of games I would have to buy a year to experience the games I want to experience would bankrupt me if I were to keep up with what I'm doing now. And yeah, I still can, go ahead and buy a game here and there. And I will own the games I definitely want to own. But for the rest of the games I want to experience, the things I hear you guys talk about or other podcasts talk about, makes it so that I can be part of that conversation for a fairly kind of low barrier of entry per month, comparatively speaking. Thank you for listening to me this week, guys, and I look forward to being with you again next week.